Very good evening to all of you. Let's continue our journey on the BA understanding. So as far as I remember yesterday, we were discussing about requirement gathering and transition requirement was remaining, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Transition requirement, did we discuss that yesterday? Did Gaurav discuss that? I couldn't get that in the recordings. Yes. Good morning. Hello. Am I
Yes,
audible, guys?
yes,
Yeah.
Prerna. I did not attend the class, Prerna. Sorry.
Okay, okay. No worries, Geeta. So others, how about you guys? Gibran, Richa, Aparna. I think only functional and non-functional requirements where requirement gathering was covered and transition requirement was remaining to be explained. Please correct me. Is it so?
Yes, it's true.
Yes. Prerna,
Yes.
Gaurav said
Sure.
you would
Yes.
go through this again.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So, I just wanted to, before we start, I just wanted to have a understanding that are you comfortable with functional and non-functional requirements? So before I go into transition, let me give you a brief example so that would help you. Okay. So as we all know, we all use websites, right? Facebook, Google, and any other maybe some news websites, some banking websites, right? We'll use a lot of websites. Okay. So can you go on a website and can you click on a particular button? Can you click on a link? Yes or no? Whenever you visit any website, tell me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Like while you use Facebook on your laptop, you can upload an image, you can write a message, right? You can do many things. So you can do it. So all of that you do is called as functionality. Yes or no? So anything that you're able to do on any particular website or anywhere, it is called as functionality because that's a function that you're doing on any particular application. Okay. So, whenever we imagine we buy a vacuum cleaner, right? So we are asking, hey, what does it do? How does it function? So, okay, there are three levels, there are that, like that. So any machine, any application, when it does something that you can see, you can use, you can operate on, is generally called as functionality. Everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Now, and if you can see, we have mentioned that like features, usability, capability, operations of a product, that is all your functionality. So when we say non-functional, that means that it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. No, non-functional means honestly, it's a technical part of it that is not visible to the eye, right? Like for example, when you switch on and switch off a fan, like when you switch it on, the fan starts, spinning. When you switch it off, this fan stops spinning. Yes or no? As simple. And when you turn or when you increase the regulator or when you if you have buttons, when you increase the temperature of your AC plus and minus, the temperature also changes, right? This is the functionality part.
Yes.
So in case when you have new AC, have you all experienced this? Whenever you get a new AC for your home, the cooling is a lot more than the earlier old AC. Have you noticed this?
Yeah. Yeah, Prerna.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that is something. Now both of them were giving cooling, but that is something a difference that you always mention. So that is a part of something non-functional that comes into performance. Right. So with respect to our IT domain, I like to give an example. Whenever we use any website, any application, okay, there is no hacking happening. There is no bug. There are no bugs. There is no data. No data privacy is maintained. Your data is not misused. So all that thing, or even performance. Like for example, if you write now google.com, tell me how many milliseconds or seconds it takes to open that page. Within a second, yes or no? I'm not sure about your internet bandwidth, but generally, yes.
Yes.
Will it be okay if we'll take 5 to 10 minutes to open google.com? Will you wait for that long?
No.
No, right? Because you straightway say there is no performance, there is no speed. You might think that there's something wrong with the server, there's something wrong with the domain. So performance, stability, security, speed, connection, all those things which we cannot see directly, but we can feel while using. There are some, like for example, I mean, we all have this functionality. When there is a spam call is coming, you get an alert, like, this might be a spam call with a red dot, like that. While get you, I mean, I'm not sure in your phone, generally in our phone, yes, we do get that. So that's like a spam alert your phone is trying to give that this call can be a spam call. So that is a non-functional, I would say, feature. It is giving you some additional services. So that is why when we speak about performance, stability, net security means network security, data security, any kind of security. This is with respect to non-functional. So that means, we are not doing any functionality. There is no button click, there is no link opening, there is no video opening, there is no image flashing. But then these all aspects are as important, or I would say rather more important than your only functionality part. Will you use any website that has all the features, but if you go there, your personal data is being hacked, and you get virus in your laptop? Will you use that website if you get to know?
We don't use.
We don't use. Why we don't use such websites? One answer, please. Anyone? Why? If you know that there is this, then why do you use that? Why you don't use that website?
Because yes,
It's not secured.
It's not secure. Yeah. And you were saying something? Somebody else also was saying something?
same thing, Prerna.
Okay. So that's what. Your safety and security matters a lot, though it is not a visible aspect, but it is a very important underlying aspect, right? So this all comes in non-functional. That is a technical requirement document. Okay, it is all mentioned. So this is a part of technicality. Now comes very important, absolutely practical, and most of the times essential requirement, that is transition requirements. I'll give you a very simple and funny example. All of you are on Insta. Do you use Instagram? IG?
Yeah, Prerna.
No? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, have you seen the transition videos on Insta? Like maybe a particular model is at one location, maybe she's at her home, and then next transition would be at airport, then next transition would be at some other location, tourist location. Yes.
Yes.
So such kind, or maybe while they get into better clothes or go for a party. So those are called transition videos, right? So I just wanted to take that term. So transition means changing from one state or one situation to another. Yes or no? Everybody
Yes.
with me on this?
Yes.
Absolutely right. So in I would say our professional setup also, there are many transitions happening. Okay. One can be a person or an let me sip some water. Give me a second. So there can be a transition of one of the important resources or employees. Okay, they might be moving out, or they might not be continuing in this organization. So that is one kind of transaction. Other transaction is transition is that when we say when we get a message that okay, your application software is getting updated, please restart your phone, right? Or new version of this software is available, do you want to download it? Do you get such alerts or not for any particular application? new version of the software is available, do you want to update your application? Do you get such alerts on your phone?
Yes.
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 So what is that? That is transitioning from the earlier older version to the new version. So generally transition means it's it's basically converting or changing of some I would say features, or uh, making it better with some additional I would say it can be a technical feature, like better security, better functionality. So even our mobile uh, softwares, operating systems are also updated once in a while. You get alerts. So this is a transition that is basically going from one state or one level to another. Okay, so that also requires a requirement gathering. Like earlier, in which version we were, okay, we were on 1.0, now we are going on 1.1. Okay, so this is a transition happening. So what all things are changing in 1.1? Okay, we are giving better security, we are giving better performance, we are giving better battery life, whatever. I'm just thinking aloud, like for a mobile software upgradation, what all transition that might be happening. So that is one transition. Also, when you have an old system, existing old system, that you are transferring to a new system. Okay, like maybe a typical example is earlier, like school, college, or university websites were very simple. They were non interactive. When I say non interactive, means they were only images and data and text involved. There was no online application form filling, or there was no any activity where you can reach out to them using internet. But now they are like having forms, submission forms or inquiry buttons. Nowadays we have this online chat, even intelligent IVR like chat also we have. So those functionality that a university might be integrating, right? So this is what is happening, transition. You're going from very simple plain Jane website to an interacting website. Are you able to understand with me transition? What is transition? Changing, updating, upgrading from one state to another. Yes.
Sure. Yes.
Everybody with me? Any doubt in transition requirements?
No.
Yeah. So basically what happens, just to sum it up, in transition requirements, as we are changing the state, changing the you know changing from the older version to newer version, we would require to go through the requirement gathering process, right? Like to know what are the changes those are happening, how we will do them, or what is the impact of these changes and all that. Okay. Thank you so much. I just wanted to ensure that we all are on same page with requirement. The next example Gaurav would be taking, we will start with how the requirement gathering process happens. Okay. So it is a very, I would say, absolutely practical process. We have been doing this from ages. Similarly, like whenever we make any notes for any particular exam, we kind of follow this kind of processes. So it's very practical, and you will understand while we explain this. So may I request all of you to read this 6 points one by one? Go ahead.
Take notes.
Right. Next.
Make creative.
Mm-hmm. Next point.
Make annotation.
Yes, absolutely. Next point, guys. Quick.
Write them in required document. Use template and include use case.
Right.
Hold
And
and
last two are similar. Mm-hmm.
hold an internal review. Sixth one is
Mm-hmm.
hold an internal review. Sorry, I think I read it wrongly. Hold an external review. That's
Yes, internal and external. These are like reviews, but on a different level. So this is basically our requirement gathering process. Okay. Now, the first step, I don't think so. I have to explain. We all know that we have to take notes. Okay. So basically, you have to ensure that whatever is being, see, it's a requirement, right? Like, for example, if you want to buy a new fridge for your house, okay, what is the first thing that comes to our mind? What do we ask ourselves?
The
What is our
capacity.
requirement?
The capacity.
Right. Capacity, yes. But capacity, cooling, size, all of this, what is it? It's a requirement, right? Like maybe earlier you had a small fridge, a single door small fridge, as you were a bachelor, or maybe you were living alone. But then when your family moves in, maybe you get married, you have kids, you have other family members, you live in a joint family, you will definitely go for a bigger fridge, right? Because that is your requirement, right? So whenever we have to take any decisions, make any documentation, understand about any software, any application, our first and foremost thing is take notes. So take notes means write down your requirement, what, and this really happens, guys. Like as a BA, tomorrow if you join as a BA in any organization, right? You will have to sit with the customer, or it is a regular process that whenever you have discussions with client, or with their, I would say, with their spokesperson or something like that, you would have discussions with them, and you write their requirements. See, it's not that when the customer says, that time you prepare a BRD sitting with them. No, that time you just take notes. You take some pointers, what are they saying, so you know that, okay, this is all what we had discussed. So taking notes is very important. Then we are saying make it creative. Like make it creative means have some symbols, try to add some images. See, while taking notes, you might not be able to do it manually, but if you're taking digital notes, like, if you're mentioning on a laptop, in Word document, in Excel, so you can just, embed some images, try to make it some, you know, interesting. So it is easier for you to explain, or it is easier for any person who goes through the notes. Yes. So it's absolutely personal, but it is advisable that you make it. See, it is always very cumbersome to read long essays and theory. Yes or no? Be very honest.
Yeah.
Like in our
Yes.
PPTs also, if we have only theory without any images and long theory, like those long books we used to have, like history books, will you enjoy it, or trust me, or you will go to sleep? Be honest.
No, no,
Sleep.
we
No,
would
right?
get bored.
Yeah, right. Because we're anyways are starting late at night, and all that theory, all that just text is sometimes is actually boring, unless it is your favorite topic, or unless you're too devoted. It is absolutely so. It's human nature. So that's why we are saying make it creative. Make it interesting for you, or even for the other people who will refer it. Okay. Again, make annotations. So yes, so pictorial representation, like how we had this image, right? So you had a better, I would say, memory retention with this, right? So okay, functional requirement, non-functional requirement, transition requirement, this requirement had two parts. So this really helps, even this upcoming image, right? So having these now we will learn this after the current slide. So these images, these pictures, having those in your, I would say, uh, notes, or having those in your requirements, really help not only you, give me a second, but it also helps the person who will be reading it, right? And it's good for reference. So we are saying, once you note them down, once you have your all the understanding clear, write them in requirement documents. So requirement document can be functional requirement document, that is FRD, functional specification document, FSD. These are the similar name for the same document. Or BRD, that is business requirement document. Now, this document is like the entire requirements, like all the requirements that customer have given you for their application, for their need, or for their whatever they want us to develop on. It can be a chat a messenger, it can be a website, it can be a web application, it can be anything and everything. So for that, we can prepare a document wherein we write their requirements, we include some pictures, we create use cases. The use cases we will come in they'll come in future, so don't stress about them now. We will be learning about all the activity diagrams and other diagrams that we can and should at times prepare in a document. So we'll take them that time. So all these things which are important, like how the application communicates to other applications, what are the incoming source, where the data is coming from, different sources, all that, whatever is your application is doing, those details are mentioned here. Okay. So that's why and use template means, by the way, a good news for all of you. Don't worry whenever like this is a very typical question we used to get, like do we have to prepare any document from scratch in any organizations? Do you have this question? Tell me yes or no, please. People who have already worked, no, don't answer. So tell me that in any established organization, do we all prepare any document from scratch, yes or no?
No.
What do you think? No, I got one no. What about others? Just your thought. It can be right or wrong, doesn't matter. And that there is no right or wrong in this case. Yeah.
Depends, I mean, project to project. Sometimes we get already some idea is there and we start from there, and sometimes we have to create the requirement from scratch. It depends. I mean, it can vary.
Yeah, that's a taken answer. I completely agree. But I'm saying when we talk about templates or when we talk about functional requirement document or BRD, generally, this is my personal experience in established organization, like maybe smaller organizations where they don't have a process or when they are not thoroughly into documentation, but generally bigger organization, because it's an audit requirement. Like, the other day, okay, that was another batch. So I had been, discussing about auditing and governing. So that all happens in every organization, rather big organization as a bank. So one of the requirement of that is to have a a foolproof or have an established template for most of the major documents. So when we say we are preparing business requirement document or any other functionality specific documents, the templates would be there. Now template means what? All this skeleton, I call it skeleton will be available. You will just have to put information about it, like what is the, like there is an objective tab and data and the page might be blank, so you have to mention what is the objective of the project. Then the members of the team, there will be only table mentioned, or maybe their ranks would be mentioned, like okay, who is the product owner, so product owner, delivery manager, team scrum master, only these ranks will titles will be there. So you have to mention names against that. Then coming up, what is the overview of the project, what is the purpose of the project, what is the in detail project. So all this guidance, those templates are generally available. Again I'm saying it as earlier we just mentioned that it is case to case basis, but generally in bigger organizations it is available. Okay, so you
Yeah.
get a guidance, you will get a template most
Yeah.
of the
Right.
times.
Yeah.
If
That's right.
something is new, like for example, in one of my organization, early days of my project management, it was a smaller organization and they did not have documentation in process. So I myself had prepared project chartered. I myself had prepared risk register. So they did not have these documents. So what I did, I just did my research and search for some good templates and then come up with a customized one for our organization, right? And that set the process. So that's fine, but generally established documentations we do have a template. Okay, so we are saying have requirements in templates, and last two are very similar, just with different stakeholders. Hold an internal review, hold an external review. Okay, so internal review means first of all, review means you are showcasing your work to your internal showcasing your work to the audience or to the stakeholders. And in internal stakeholders, the people are basically your team, the working team, the project team, Scrum Master, product owner, or delivery manager, department head, any managing committee member who is involved, any resources from other projects that are working on your project, any visiting consulting faculty personnel, like consultant that you might have for your project. So everyone who is directly involved in your project, or it is internal to you, that means they are maybe mostly from your organizations or rather working for your project, those are your internal team members. Okay, now we can say who are external. Giving an external review means, by the way, there is also a hierarchy in that. Okay, so when we prepare this documentation, those all documents need to be reviewed by the by all the people in a particular order. Like for example, a business analyst prepares a document, then the table that would look like prepared by per se Rajesh. Okay, Rajesh is a business analyst. Okay, then reviewed by Scrum Master. She can be Reena. Okay, reviewed by Reena. She's a Scrum Master. Then approved by product owner. So per se, Ananya is an approved product owner. So she has approved that. Then okay, then signed by or reviewed by say Max. So that is your maybe delivery manager. Then again reviewed by per se Rachel. That can be your a steering committee member or another senior person, or checked by Sunita. She can be your department head. So this is the hierarchy where the person who prepares that, then once you reviews that, then once you approves that, so it just goes high and high in hierarchy till it can go to project sponsor. So this is the way we actually build the project document. So what it allows us is, in this review, it helps us to understand that okay, the documentation, the documents that we are preparing, those are all approved and checked, and they are thoroughly reviewed by the internal parties. Everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The next point is, again on a similar grounds, as we have done this internal review, now there will be external review. The external review is as simple as that, that there are people who are not from the our organization majorly. There are people who are from outside and they are related to our project. So they can be definitely, first of all, your client, your customer, any point of contact person, or any typical team that is dealing with you directly from customer side, that people, any other third party vendors or just supplying resources to use in that. So anyone and everyone who is associated in this project, who doesn't belong to your team, your organization, they are external stakeholders, and you also share these documents with them. Like, see, it's not a one sided discussion, right? It's a two side discussion. Customer tells you requirements, BAs understand them and try to put it in words and get it checked with their technical team. Then technical team comes in with their own updates that okay, this is possible, this is not possible, or they need some further more clarity on something. So it's like a ping pong ball, if you ask me. I've personally seen this initial time, unless the rapport it's set up, it takes a lot of time. So it's a ping pong ball kind of thing. The customer tells something, the BA jots it down, the development team will accept few and they'll come up with some suggestions, then again they'll go to customer. So this process is continuously happening, and once everything is done, we give it to the customer to check. Now that is an external review, that whatever we have discussed, whatever we have worked upon, please get it checked. So we also need their signatures or their approval for the document. So everybody clear with internal and external reviews? Yes.
Yes.
Any doubts, guys? We
No.
have given a lot of time in requirement gathering and internal. Okay. So as we had gone to this image, let me, as it is, similar to whatever we were discussing, though we were discussing about requirements, let us try to understand how we make decisions. Okay. uh, Not exactly on the same line, but on similar lines. Okay. So, whenever we have to take any decision in real life, in professional life, on day-to-day basis, we knowingly or unknowingly take these steps. Okay, it is called as data driven decision making, or in short it's called as DDDM. Okay, triple DM or DDDM. So can I request five people to mention the five steps written here, please? Read out the five steps.
First,
Define the problem.
Okay, right. Next,
analyze the data.
right. Third point.
Develop insights.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth point, test the insights.
Right.
Fifth
And
point,
last.
review the results.
Okay. Now I'll give a very practical real life example. Okay. Imagine go back to our school days, because that was the only time we all were pretty sincere about our studies. So imagine you are in school days, and you are one of the toppers in your class, and somehow in the last exam your performance degraded. Maybe you used to be always a topper, or maybe in top three, and then suddenly your marks you got less marks, or your overall grades were low. Okay, so now what is the problem in hand? The problem is hand is that your marks are low. Like, can we are defining the problem that okay, our performance is low. Everybody with me on this? It's a very realistic and very practical example. Yes, what is the problem? Can someone repeat it?
Low grades.
Low grades. Perfect. Very well said. Low grades is a problem. Okay. Now let us try to understand, analyze the data, means try to understand what led to this problem. Okay, so now we all know that okay, we got I got a low grade, for example. What would be the problem? The problem was definitely a lack of focus. Spend a lot of time on maybe on laptops, or maybe binge watch some series, or maybe were involved in some sports out in school or something like that. So ultimately, when you analyze data, you get some details that okay, the dedication was not there, or the amount of time that was required to finish the syllabus or finish before exam, that was not given because of whatever reasons, outings, and just being in leisure mode, not studying properly. So this is your trying to analyze the data. Okay, now when you analyze the data, you actually get what are the reasons behind a particular problem. Okay, then you come to next step, that is develop insight. So you know what is the problem, and you even know somehow what are the causes of the problem. Yes or no? Yes
Yes.
or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now the thing is, we have to develop insights, mean we have to come up with solutions for this problem. Okay, so now the problem was okay, I got less marks because I did not focus properly, I did not give enough time for my studies, I did not do whatever mock exams, I did not do revisions properly. Okay, so now my insight is I'll dedicate at least 4 hours a day for my regular studies. No, after every 2 days or 3 days, I will have my mock test, I will do revisions, I will do viva practice, whatever. I will write my thesis. So you're just coming up with solutions. Okay, these are the solutions that I'm working on. So maybe after every 3 days or twice a week, I will give mock test just for my understanding. Okay, so that is the you're developing the insights. Now the time comes that test the insights. Okay, so you were doing this, you were regularly studying, you were testing, giving mock exams, everything was on going on smoothly, and now comes the time of actual test, that your next semester or next unit test comes up, and you go there and you write your exam. And so that is the time you're testing your insights. Okay, so you might have been comfortable with whatever you have done, but you still don't know what your results would be, right? Many a times we write pretty well, but the pepper check, the examination, review person might think otherwise, their views. So you give your exam, you're given your test, you're implemented all of your, I would say, insights, whatever the way you remembered, you added diagrams, you added proper writing, good handwriting, proper point was illustration of answers, whatever you had practiced, you put it that to use during your exams. Now the last but not the least point is review the results. So now when the results come in, what do you see? You tell me, if you guys or if any one of you have followed this, what would be the result of this entire process?
Good grades.
Yeah, better grades,
Good
performance
grades.
improved, maybe
Mm.
again in top three, or maybe topper of the class, or whatever, whatever was your goal. Like, okay, I need to get full marks in maths, I need to get highest marks in subject. So this is a very simple example. The same example you can apply to buying a new refrigerator if your older refrigerator is not working. The same example applies for creating a new website for any organization, because their old website is not eye catchy, or it is not attracting enough customers. The same example again applies to a shampoo or hair care product manufacturing organizations. While their earlier products is not working, then they come up with a new products. So all these things, like, see, it is applicable to, trust me, every problem on the earth. And it is very effective because it's tells you what is wrong, it shows you what is wrong, it allows you to come up with solutions, it helps you to test it, and it helps you to get better results. Everybody with me on this? Any doubts in DDDM? Like how we use the data that we have, how we come up with solutions? Yes? Any doubts?
No.
No? No? No, let me check. Let me check.
Yeah,
Gaurav is
very
there. I
well.
just happened to miss the time. Yeah, it's past my time. Give me a second. Yeah,
When
Gaurav, are
I'm
you
there.
there?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Can you
Okay,
hear
okay,
me?
great. Yes, yes, I can hear you. And just a
Okay.
note, Gaurav, before we start, you can continue with your PayPal integration example, okay? I've not taken
Okay.
that. I thought I'll let you finish that, okay? So thank you, guys.
Sure.
Please remember this DDDM. And we will also be having an example of DDDM that I think Gaurav can elaborate. Okay, Gaurav?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've given that one different example and explanation. You can take with the one that we have. Okay. Over to you. Thank you.
Right. All right. So far you understood about RG process. That's the requirement gathering process. Okay. So it starts with taking notes when you are interviewing your customer, and then moving ahead. So we will look at it that how exactly we can translate the same when it comes to one example. And for that very reason, one example of we have with the e-commerce website. So three things we need to incorporate into that. How many things? Everyone?
3.
3. And the first one, which is the part of scope. So along with requirement, what we are learning at, we are also learning scope. What we are learning, everyone?
So
Scope.
Go.
Yeah. And in scope, there are 3 pillars. Always you need to remember whenever you are crafting a requirement document. First thing you need to mention in this is called as inclusion. What it is called as?
inclusive.
Inclusion means what all customer has said, and that we are going to include. Okay. The second item is exclusion. Okay. What customer has mentioned not to include, we are going to maintain them in exclusion. All right. With me so far, say yes if you understood what I said.
Yes.
Yeah. And there are few items which customer has not said at all, and we think that it is okay to assume, and customer has not yet confirmed, neither we have taken the confirmation from customer yet. We will be parking those items into this section, to which we are calling it as assumption. What we are calling it as?
Assumption.
Assumption. Okay. So in the parallel example, which is on the left hand side on the screen, you see here we have exclusion. Okay. We have assumption, and the item above mentioned is part of inclusion. Is it part of what, everyone?
Inclusion.
Inclusion. And in this inclusion, this example is typical example of e-commerce website. Okay. So to include something when we are making notes, okay, this is not the typical example when you are starting from scratch and preparing the document. You have already template at their place, but now after interviewing the customer, you will be asking certain question that customer has to answer and maintain it into document. So few questions necessary to ask are these: what, where, when, and why. Okay. So customer has come up with one requirement, and requirement is what? What do you read here? What do you read here, everyone?
PayPal.
What is required?
PayPal integration.
Integration. I believe and assume that everyone knows PayPal, right? Quite famous in USA, especially. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So PayPal integration. Where? So first, PayPal integration is built for what? For what? So it is built for e-commerce website. May say for example, excuse me. Say for example, your website is amazon.com. Okay. And imagine if amazon.com does not have PayPal integration yet. Okay. And because of non-existence of PayPal payment method, what is going to happen is that customer is using existing payment method, and that is credit card. With me so far? Say yes if you heard what I
Yes.
said. Yeah, credit card. Now, vendor means business analyst have another question that where exactly in the e-commerce website customer wants this PayPal to be integrated. So answer comes as in during the checkout. So now checkout might have the multiple steps. Yes or no? Yeah.
Yes.
You are putting the address, then you are clicking on the checkout, you are filling certain forms and all. So you have to go more specific, and you have to answer about the when. Okay. So in when it specifies here within step number 3 of 4, how many total steps are there? This indicates how many total steps?
4.
4. So it says that, thank you. So it says that step number 3 of 4 out of 4 in the checkout experience, we are going to integrate this PayPal. Okay. Yes, everyone. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you need to also give the answer. So here you clearly read here. Just give me a second. Yeah. So it says further, after the shipping address web form is filled and just before confirmation, so that becomes your step number 3, where you are including. Now you need to be very much clear the why part, why exactly you are doing it. So there could be the multiple reason, because that makes the objective become more clearer, that makes your every single step of how very much stronger. Okay, with more integration, with more clarity, and with more um, specification. So the why answers here that an established integration is better solution than a robust custom build integration for a payment service, in this case because it easily meets client's requirement. Now how it meets easily client's requirement? Now imagine a typical experience. You are selling your stuff. Say for example, you are a small business owner. Okay, you have certain products and you sell them out over where? Amazon. Where do you sell? Over which platform?
Amazon.
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 Now you have gotten a buyer. Thank you. So now you have gotten a buyer. Buyer tries to buy your product. Now he completes few steps. Okay, he completes few steps where now during the checkout, he needs to fill the banking details, or say for around credit card details. Okay, during credit card, what he needs to do, he needs to fill the name, then it needs to fill the 16 digit or 15 digit credit card number, and then he needs to also fill the validity up to, that is the valid through, and he needs to, or she needs to fill CVV number, and then she needs to, after doing that, he needs to authenticate using one-time password or something. Okay, multiple steps involved. Maybe this credit card is not handy with the person may go back and bring that. Okay, maybe sometime OTP got mistyped, or at any point of time any data goes incorrect, customer needs to redo the entire process once again. Okay, that's number one. Number two, even he does not have to, he may go back to bring a credit card. He may change his mind. Number three, when he are filling the information, he finds that so many information, he may drop the idea. Does it attracting more customer with speed, or there are chances there is a leak in the customer acquisition? There is a leakage in customer acquisition, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, possible. Customer
Possible.
may drop his idea of buying your product
Yes.
due to these information. Now what will happen with the PayPal integration? Customer is only have to fill one address, that is it. Okay, and if it is the app, the PayPal app is well approved with the website, it automatically, with one small click, the payment becomes complete and the buying process gets done. What is the most easiest way, PayPal integration or other method like credit card? What is most easiest?
PayPal.
PayPal. It saves a lot of time, which we may not realize at the first step. Everyone is with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Now, here it is clear with the inclusion. Now, let's understand what is assumption. So, assumption here is that there will be a flat fee for shipping and handling. Okay, so that will be taken. So, that has been mentioned in the document. All shipping is within the USA only, but here we are excluding two locations. One is Alaska and another is Hawaii. Okay, so it has been clearly mentioned. Now, here it also reads as taxes don't apply. Okay, so even if it is, it brings certain clarity. Here it is clearly mentioned in the assumption that we are not going to calculate these taxes into the process of checkout. Got it? Everyone with me so far, say yes? Yes, no? Any questions so far, guys?
No.
No, Gaurav.
Okay. All right. So everyone is with me so far. Now, understand exclusion also. Exclusion might be mentioned with from client. Okay. So there are three exclusion client had strictly said that, okay, so custom shipping and handling fee calculation, you are not going to include. Shipping internationally along with Alaska and Hawaii. So it was customer clearly mentioned that. Even though if you would have not written this, okay, that is okay. But when it says that shipping internationally not allowed, so here by default it brings the assumption, okay, it means that within the USA. You are understanding how we are understanding the exclusion and also understanding the inclusion, reading in between the line, and whatever it is giving result to the assumption, we are also quoting into the document. With me so far, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah, super. Now, any tax rules will also be included. Okay, so this is how you are developing one requirement. So you maintained exclusion, you maintained assumption, and you maintained inclusion, made them the part of the documentation. Okay, here it clearly states that smaller the delta between client expectation and reality with the digital product, happier your client is going to be with the end result. So it means that clearly mention the requirement, get the more clarity from your customer. In case of any ambiguity, what you should do? In case of any ambiguity that you are not able to understand, when client is quoting and giving you the inclusion, exclusion, you are applying assumption. In case of any ambiguity, what you should be doing? Richa, what should you be doing? If you're not understanding, there is some ambiguity, what you should be doing?
Yeah, definitely asking more and more questions to make it clear and writing explicitly. Basically,
Hmm.
asking questions to clarify the ambiguity.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now you tell Kajal where you are going to ask those questions, to whom you will ask those questions. What Risha said. Kajal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So where you will be asking those questions, to whom you will be asking those questions. If there, in case of ambiguity, first what you will do,
More ask question
and to whom?
to the project, client.
You tell me only one thing: project owner or product owner or client, or project manager, whom? Okay. Okay, so just pay attention next. Okay, let me quickly check with the Geeta. Geeta, what do you think? To whom the question should be asked?
The customer.
The customer. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for answer. So yes, clear, Richa. Sorry, Kajal. It's to customer, right?
Yes, sir.
Got it? Okay. So please pay attention. Now comes very important again. See, this is clear. Requirement is clear now. We were learning also DDDM. That comes with how many steps? DDDM has how many steps? How many steps?
5.
5 steps. Okay. And the whole idea is that why we are creating DDDM. What is the core purpose behind creating DDDM? Tell me. Who can give me an answer? The core purpose behind doing this DDDM.
To,
What do you think?
to improve the
Yeah.
value.
Okay, what else? What else? What other answer? Aparna, what do you think? What should be the purpose behind doing DDDM? Aparna,
For
what
this,
could be the purpose?
for
Yeah,
this,
go ahead. Can you repeat, please?
for the decision making.
Yeah, that's decision making, but obvious. But when we are doing the decision making, it means what is the need behind decision making? Because customer in some problem, facing some challenges, and he is seeking the solution of that. Yes or no? Do you all agree? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, no. Yeah. So because he is seeking some solution, why he is seeking some solution? Because he has to make certain decision, and to help him to make that decision, we will be giving them this particular method or framework. Method or what? Method or what?
Framework.
Framework.
Framework. Yes, absolutely right. You are right. So framework to reach out to the solution. Trust me, this data driven decision making is so much important, so much strong, or so much foolproof, that not only business issue or not only customers issue, you apply this DDDM anywhere in this world, in any type of typical problem, it will result in the right solution for you. In fact, in one of the class, one of the person came with her personal problem. We made sure how she goes with the right solution, mere by applying 5-step DDDM. That's the data-driven decision making. Okay, I don't know. This is the one of so I have a funny quote when we say why do we do data-driven decision making. I don't know whether I had quoted this in this class or in a different class. Do you remember that quote related to data-driven decision making? Okay. So this time I am going to use one Hindi word, one word only in Hindi. Is it okay if I can speak that one word in Hindi? So in a way that you can understand. Is it okay, everyone?
Yes.
Richa,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, everyone. So I want to ask you, do you know what is the meaning of sun in Hindi? Anyone knows?
Beta.
S,
Beta.
beta, yeah. So the Hindi meaning of sun is beta, and a funny quote which I try to dictate in the classes is like this. Once, how to tell that? Once your beta may lie, but data may not. Do you understand the impact on data-driven decision making? Beta means sun. Your sun may lie, but when it comes to data, it's always foolproof that comes out with the decision with the right solution for you. Do you understand what I said just now? Once beta may lie, but data may not. Do you all understand what I tried to quote over here? Jubran?
Yes.
Yeah. Jubran, were you able to relate? Yes, no?
No. Would you
Okay.
please repeat this?
Okay, I would say, see, there is a Hindi word, okay? There is a Hindi word. Okay, so this Hindi word which is the meaning of the word sun. Sun in English, in Hindi called as beta,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
And I said that once beta may lie, okay? When asked certain question, he or she may lie, but the data will not. That strong this traceability is. Now you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Now, why did I say that? Because we are going to learn how strong this data-driven decision making with one example. Okay. And let's jump to that solution, that example. Okay. It says that let's apply the data-driven decision making framework to online marketing. Okay. In online marketing, when I'm going, it is telling the problem. Okay. The problem, it is telling that I'm not making, the person who is coming with the problem is not making money from my advertising campaign. So now, one thing you need to clearly understand, the very first step was what? Define the problem. What was the first step, everyone?
Define the problem.
Define the problem. Now you tell me why we need to define the problem, why we need to emphasize on that. Any logical reason, anything that you have heard related to that? Why need to focus on that?
Find the solution.
To find the solution. And it is also that, but why we are emphasizing on the definition of it? The reason behind that, we have heard this phrase, I don't know how many of you remember, the phrase goes like this: the problem well defined is half solved. Have you heard this earlier?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the reason we are going to emphasize that on definition of the problem. So we clearly come up with this. Falling short of revenue goal. Maybe the person had certain revenue goal of $8,000. Okay, $8,000. And he's not making enough when, and what data says, okay, and what feeling says. When analyzed on the next step, it says that the person is missing the lead goal KPI by 50%. Now, how do we understand that? Before we could understand this, we need to understand one very important theory for online marketing. Okay, and this theory may be applied anywhere. Okay, so let me bring that theory in front of you. Let me reshare a whiteboard for that matter. So before I could do that, how many of you heard the Pareto principle? Anyone who knows Pareto principle? Have you heard of Pareto principle? Yes or no? Anyone here? No. Okay.
No.
How many of you have heard the rule 80-20 rule? Anyone here who has heard the rule 80-20 rule?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So what I quoted as Pareto principle is only the 80-20 rule. So what exactly happens in why it is called Pareto principle? Because the pioneer of 80-20 rule, his name was Alfredo Pareto. He was the Italian economist. On his name, this rule was called as Pareto principle. So in Italy, once in his era, what he noticed that 80% of the land in Italy was acquired by the 20% of the richest people. How many richest people?
20.
20% of the richest people. Okay. And from there, this, when he noticed that 80-20 rule was applicable in every single sector. And that's when it is coming over here in the online marketing I'm going to share with you. Okay. Before you could do that. So what exactly happens is that in online marketing, so how many of you have seen two ways of online marketing? Once you are searching something in the Google, and the first and second link will have the tag which says sponsored. Have you noticed that? Yes, no? Have you, when you are searching something in the Google, the first or second search tells that this is sponsored. Have you seen that? Yes, no?
Yes.
Do you want? Okay, you have seen. One person has seen. What about others?
No.
Richa, Jibran, Aparna, Geeta, have you not seen?
No, I didn't see.
No.
Okay, okay, fine. So let's do one thing. Before we could come here, let me do that for you, and we'll see that how important it is for you to know and understand. And let me share my screen with you all. Okay, just give me a second, and let me open my Google Chrome so that I can show that. Wait a second, guys. I'm sharing my screen again one more time. And the moment you get to see the screen, just a second. Wait a second, guys, just a second. Okay, my system is a little hang. So let me come up. And please confirm if I am still audible.
Yes, we are audible.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, all right. All right. So now, say for example, I have to search for, tell me one quick product if you can. Can anyone? Okay, say for example, chair for office. Okay, I searched. The moment I search chair for office, what exactly happens? Do you see the first result is sponsored, second result sponsored, third result sponsored, okay? And then I am getting the search result. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yes, no? Yeah.
Yes.
So these sponsored results are coming. So in a Google, what do we see that? Whatever the online marketing is coming, those are inserted at the top of your search result. That's number one. Number two, say for example, if you are doing the Facebook ad, okay, so I believe that many of you know about the Facebook ad marketing. So you are watching some post or video or reel, you get to see that all of a sudden some some video ad comes up, it pops up. Has it ever happened to you? Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
there is a there is a logic behind it. There is algorithm behind it. What happens? Any online marketer, when he or she sets up his marketing, what exactly happens is that the system or algorithm in the online marketing starts creating the impression. Start creating what?
Impression.
Impression. And before the system can create the impression, it creates its reach. What it creates?
Reach.
Reach. So first understand, the first thing is in this entire system is reach followed by impression. Okay. And after reach and impression, what exactly happens? So first reach, then impression, then after reach and impression, then happens is is engagement, possible engagement. Okay. Reach, impression, engagement, and then even before impression, so before engagement, there is reaction. Okay. And after reaction, there are chances it may lead to the engagement. Okay. And before engagement, after it may gather the lead, and then it may gather what? Gather the conversion, right? Say, for example, you have gotten a product of $1,000. Okay. And each $1,000 of product is valuing you $10 or $100. Say, for example, this is the calculation. I'm just doing it random. So what your Pareto principle says that whatever your X or whatever the amount or whatever the cost goes into reach, it's 20% amount or 20% of the count will land into impression. Whatever the impression you will have, only its 20% may react. Okay. And whatever whoever will react to you, okay, out of that only 20% will engage further. Whatever whoever engages with you, only 20% come into your lead. And when only 20% comes in your lead, only 20% of that will be converted. This is the typical rule. With me so far? Not the
Yes.
entire 100%. So in certain scenario or exception that may happen that it will go beyond that, but this has been on an average that has been witnessed into the market. With me so far, everyone say yes if you are understanding whatever I said just now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what exactly happens is that it sees that when done analysis, it says the person is missing his lead goal KPI by 50%. In case, say, for example, he needed 100 leads. Out of that, he was getting only 50 leads. Okay. Then based on that, based on the analysis, he developed some insight and found that he was missing out on 75% of search impression itself. You remember the impression word coming from where? Yes.
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 We quoted. So he says that 75% of search impression share due to lack of advertisement budget. If where 100 or $300 was required, he was pumping only $150. Okay, for advertisement. And thereby he was saying that because search impression was not particular, and that's the reason whatever the calculation come. Okay, so because search impression was not right, and that's when whatever the stats was given from impression, that laid wrongly into the conversion. You understand how it is moving ahead? So the entire problem was here. So he's decided, let's test it. What he said, how to test it? Increase the budget by adding more 50% for another 30 days. For another how many days?
30 days.
30 days, and then see the result. And when the result was seen, what he found that the ad budget improved the impression share and resulted in the lead KPIs that was being achieved, and revenue goal was realized. Okay, so what he did actually, he tested it by putting it. But before testing, he developed the insight based on analysis. Based on what? Analysis. And that analysis might have been done because if he might have run the ad 3 times and he gained the data for all these and then summarized it, he might have seen, okay, this has become the trending. Okay, this is how it was giving the result. Okay, and then he reached to the result solution of the problem. With me so far, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Everyone with me?
Yes.
Anyone who is not with me? Okay, good. Fine. Now, so here is nothing new, but you need to understand what exactly I did. I asked certain question. First, problem well defined. Then for analysis, I asked the question, and that question is under what segment? You defined what? The what? Okay. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. And for developing the insight, why this problem was happening, why this impact was getting created. And for that, you simply ask the why and you get the answer to that. Then after analyzing those whys and tracing those why continuously and consistently, you ask another question to test, that is the how. Okay. Now you take a decision based on that for testing purpose for certain time, and then if that passed, you see the result. Yeah, and the result says that increasing advertising budget, my advertising budget resulted in 100% increase in search impression share if it is done through Google, resulting in my lead acquisition goal KPI being achieved. I have compared these results against my return on advertisement spend, which is also known as ROAS or ROAS, and return on investment, that is ROI, figures for last 30 days compared to the previous month, and I can see improvement in my advertisement lead conversion as well. Okay, so he reached to the solution using DDDM. Any question so far in DDDM? Guys, any question?
No.
Any question, Kajal,
No,
Jubran?
no.
Aparna,
No.
Geeta, Richa?
N-
No.
no.
So let's hear one word from you because I just now see we have touched the time. So one word that you feel like saying, Jubran, in
Yeah,
today's
it was interesting.
interesting is the one word.
Interesting to hear about the 80-20 rule.
80-20 rule was the new that is explored. Thank you so much, Jubran. Let's hear from Kajal. Kajal, what do you feel like saying? One
Triple
word
DM.
that could you repeat?
Triple DM side is
Triple DM. Yeah. Triple DM.
is
That's
mm,
yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kajal. Let's hear from Aparna. Aparna, what do you feel like saying? One word that comes in your mind.
BDDM concept was very good.
DDDM concept was more clearer. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Richa. Richa, what do you feel like quoting? One word.
Yeah,
that you
PayPal
will-
example was very impressive. I mean, it can be used in interviews.
Yeah, wow, wonderful. Thank you so much, Richa, for taking that way. So yeah, let's hear from Geeta. Geeta, what do you feel like saying? One word that's in your
Yeah.
mind.
All real-time examples were helpful for connecting the dots.
Yeah, real-time example. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Dave. Anything you would like to quote?
I think the data doesn't lie. That's all I want to say.
Data doesn't lie. Yeah. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, everyone. We are going to talk again soon. And those who missed on this recording of Zoom directly, I'll share. And whenever the YouTube link will come, they will come. But Zoom recording will be shared with you directly. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye. We'll talk to you again soon. Good night, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.